Well, hey, everybody. Glad to have y'all on here. For those of you that are brand new to our team, welcome. Sometimes we take it for granted when you jump on, Leadership 25 that everybody knows what's going on, but sometimes there's new people and this is your first time on here, so welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Danny McDaniel. I'm one of your team leaders and very happy to be able to train today on leadership through the Leadership 25 series that we're doing. And that comes from the book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And I want to just even review, how this thing got started. I'll cover that very quickly today. For those of you that are newer, my wife and I, Diane, in 1999, we were in our first direct sales company, and we'd been in for 2 years. And at our convention on the leadership day, which was in the, just a private leadership meeting, we had a leadership meeting with John Maxwell, the author of the 21 Laws of Leadership. And that book had just come out, and he trained a small group of us, probably 20 people or so. And he called it the You Were in the Room training. And he said, you'll never forget this day because you were in the room, and you'll always remember you were in the room. And he trained on it. And then we had lunch with him, and then he trained at the conference as well that day to, 2,000 or 3,000 people. And then he started a leadership program. The next 21 weeks after the convention, they called it Leadership 21. For the next 21 weeks, he had a weekly call with us, and we had a cassette tape that went with it because they did the recording and then mailed us the cassette tape. And that exploded our business, and it raised up leaders, and people that ordinarily hadn't had success started getting success. And it exploded our company. And we never forgot how impactful that Leadership 21 program was. And so we've always been a proponent of John Maxwell's teachings, leadership teachings and stuff. But, here a few months ago, Don and I just came to the realization that, we've got to get this back out, and we got to get this to our team. Our team's got to get this book in them and the principles that go with it. And in the meantime, Don and I have been growing. We've been gathering insights that have strengthened us and helped us with blind spots and just different weaknesses and things that we've even forgotten. And so welcome to Leadership 25. Let's go to the law of the buy-in. I hope you love this chapter, because it really has some great stuff in it. Anything typed in here is really just out of the book. So these aren't really my words today. This is straight out of the book. And so when it comes to the buy-in, you gotta keep in mind here that it's about you as a leader first. The leader finds the dream, and then the people. So you gotta get the dream. And once you get the dream, then you start sharing your dream with the people. And so the people find the leader and then the dream. So leadership is really about leading with a dream. It's about leading with vision. And when you do, the people will follow, because people are going to follow someone they can buy into. They're going to follow someone with magnetism. It's these laws. They're going to follow, someone with humility. They're going to follow someone with fire. They're going to follow someone with a great attitude. They're going to follow someone who has vision and can articulate that vision, and they're clear and concise with that vision and know exactly where they're going. People always want to go somewhere. You notice that? I mean, we get, many of us, I mean, I know there's people that just say, I just love being at home and doing nothing. Okay, well, that's great. But just in the grand scheme of things, people want to go somewhere. I mean, my wife is shopping right now. Her and Carrie Robertson, they're shopping. Okay, so why? Because they want to go shopping. People want to do stuff. I'm in Guatemala. Why? Because I wanted to come to Guatemala to Spanish school. So we got to have reasons to do these things. You got to have why my wife's shopping today? Because Carrie's in town. So they want to go shopping, but she don't want to go shopping by herself. She want to go shopping with Carrie. Why did I go to Guatemala? Come to Guatemala because I have a dream, and part of that's to speak Spanish. And so it causes me to go. So just think you're in the business of giving people a reason to go with you, and it's going to come with buy-in. So the question is, do people buy into you? You know, people don't at first follow worthy causes. Now think about this. As great as the business we're in is, I mean, it's incredible. We have the most disruptive technology on the planet Earth today in our hands. I mean, that is, someone could argue that, but I just believe that. I don't believe there's a more disruptive technology for the human body on the planet Earth. I don't believe there's ever been a more disruptive technology for the human body on the planet Earth than what we have right now. And the cause is 1 billion people. David Schmidt, Painting Vision. I want to change 1 billion people's lives with this technology. And so it's a strong a strong vision. It's a strong cause because you're literally changing people's lives physically. Okay. But think about that. Not everybody jumps on board. Why? Because it's not always that they're going to follow worthy causes. They're going to first follow worthy leaders. So we have to increase our magnetism. We have to increase our viability. We have to, and that's like every college football coach. Every college football, the reason now money has leveled the playing field there in college football. You know, because of the fact that you can buy people now. Well, before you could buy people, it was about how good of a recruiter are you? How do you treat your players? Because are they really buying into you? And so there's no greater test than that than with volunteers. So college football players aren't volunteers anymore because they're paid. So now you got to go all the way down to high school. But then, you know, they live there. So now where do you go? Well, let's look at network marketing in general. I mean, this is it. We're leading volunteers, whether it's either in ministry or in network marketing. Those are the two areas of life where you have total volunteers in there. This chapter right here on the law of the buy-in means everything when you're leading a volunteer army. So we want people to buy into us first. So what do they buy into? They're going to buy into your character. They're going to buy into your competence. They're going to buy into your commitment. And those are important. You know, this business is nothing more than personal growth. The more we master ourselves and grow ourselves in every shape, every form, and every fashion. It's spiritually, it's physically, it's emotionally. We just got to grow. It's a choice we make. And when we make that choice to be stretched, to be tested, and to grow, then what happens is our competence grows as well. And people will see that and they buy into our competence. They buy into the fact that when you say something, you're going to do it. And you're going to get it done. And we live in a world where a lot of people say stuff and then they don't do it and they don't follow through. And so when people don't trust your competence, they're not going to follow you. And then there's the commitment side. And the commitment is everything. Are we really committed? And we're going to talk about that also in the law of victory. So when we commit, it means, are we all in? I mean, are we really committed? Just like when you got married, when you put that, if you got married, if you're married, when you put the ring on the finger, you committed. You said, I commit till death do us part, that this is it. Okay, did you really mean that? Till death do us part. So it's a commitment. And it's a commitment to work through whatever storms there are. It's a commitment to work through whatever trials and tribulations there may be. It's a commitment to work through every disagreement and go, you know what? I'm not quitting. Just because I got mad at you, I'm not quitting. And that's the same, like you get mad at your sponsor. Are you quitting? Come on. You didn't get in this because of your sponsor. Your sponsor may have led you to this, but you're here because you have a bigger reason than your sponsor. See, your sponsor is not your why. Your leader, I'm not your why. Your leader's not your why. You have to have a stronger why that bypasses all of that so that your commitment is strong. And when people know you're committed and they can see it, they know they can follow you because they know you're not going to quit on them either. So let's take a look with this chapter on how people follow people here. There's John Maxwell talks about four different concepts in regards to the buy-in process. So toward the end of the chapter, he was saying, let's look at these things. Number one, when followers don't like the leader or the vision, either one, they look for another leader. So sometimes we wonder, well, why, Now, everybody that doesn't follow you, it's not always you. So don't condemn yourself. I mean, don't just beat yourself up totally. But if you see consistency and patterns, that's when you take notice of stuff. When followers don't like the leader or they don't like the vision, they're going to look for another leader. That's just the way it goes. As great as the technology we have is, as great as the compensation plan is, as great as our system is, just think about this. Is everybody making millions right now? No. Is everybody making a six-figure income right now? No. Has everybody reached their goals here? No. So it's something beyond the product. It's something beyond systems. It's something beyond a compensation plan. It's about leadership. So when followers don't like the leader, but they do like the vision, they look for another leader. This happens a lot. That when people get bypassed, and there's people that will come in the organization and they'll go, and people will reach out to them, and leaders, people above them will reach out to them. And if there's no connection and if there's no chemistry there, if they don't like that leader, they're going to bypass you. And and don't and don't take that word as black and white. Some people, because sometimes being bypassed doesn't mean that they're actually bypassing you. Like I got to clarify this so no one sees this as black and white. Because I tell people all the time when it comes to your support team, there is no hierarchy here. Meaning, if you have a support team of 3 working brand partners with you, which you should, every single person should have at least 3 working brand partners that they can rely on for support, or couples, but 3 entities above them. Well, to me, there's no hierarchy in that. To me, there's just like, I can call whichever one of those 3 I want to any given time. And no one should be worried about it. Like the sponsor should not be worried about it at all. Like if you call me and there's someone in between me and you, that person in between me and you, if they get insecure about that, they've got a leadership issue. They've got an insecurity issue because it's not a chain of command. Network marketing has never had a chain of command. And leading volunteers has nothing to do with chains of command. It has to do with pure leadership. However, now that I've kind of made sure that you don't see that as black and white, what happens is if people are consistently bypassing you and not using you, it's a leadership issue. They're not buying into you. They love the vision, but they're going to look for a leader that they can relate to, a leader that they feel like they can put their people in front of, a leader that they feel like, hey, I can get stuff done if this person is doing it with me. So what do we want to do? We want to increase our capacity at all times to grow so that we can serve as many people as possible and help people multiply. Number 3, when followers like the leader but not the vision, they change the vision. Now, I have seen this before in my life. I've seen it in different arenas. I even saw it as a pastor. I planted a church. Diana and I planted a church, and we pastored it for 10 years. And I saw this a lot, that that our I had so many different staff members that we had a great relationship, and it was almost like they liked the leader. And so I'm not even talking about the congregation. I'm talking about the staff working for us. They liked the leader, but they didn't like our vision. They had their own vision, and they wanted to continually change my vision. They wanted to continually tell me how to run church, how church should be, and how churches have a, here's the checklist, and here's why we should have it this way, and it should be very, seeker friendly and all that kind of stuff. And that's not what God called me to plant. He didn't call me to plant seeker friendly. He called me to plant, a Holy Spirit led church, but yet people, didn't like the vision. They wanted to change the vision. So ultimately it's going to fall apart. And, that's really, in the grand scheme of things, that's where it is today. When God had me hand off the church because he told me to, I felt like I obeyed him. But now the test comes to the next guy that you hand the church off to. But what did he do? He changed the name of the church, then withdrew from the ministry that we were even a part of, and just changed everything. Well, that's not succession. That is, I won't even say the word. And so that's when the life goes out of stuff and things fall apart. So we've all had experiences in life we're challenged with our leadership to go to another level. You want to have strong vision and be committed and have great character so that people see this last thing. When followers like the leader and the vision, they get behind both. And that's where you see unity, and that's where you see blessing, and that's where you see multiplication. And so this is where we all want to get to. We want to get to where people that are following us, they not only like the vision, but they really like us too. And this is right. This is where we multiply, is when people buy in to both. Because you and I both know we're already buying into David Schmidt. We're already buying into LifeWay. We're already buying into the X39 stem cell activation patch. We're buying into the technology that's the most disruptive technology on the planet. We're buying into the growth. We're buying into the systems. We're buying into all that. Now, are people buying into us?